episode of NCP, or I should say, welcome to our first official new episode, I guess you can say. NCP Predicts. My name is Stazz, and I'm joined here with Mike and Matt. Say hi.
Hey guys.
Hello, I'm Matt.
What's up?
And that's Mike. And we're going to be... so I just gave a little bit of a rundown what this is going to be about. NCP Predicts is going to be about predicting TV shows. And the three that are going to be, I think, our bread and butter. There's going to be CW's Flash, CW's Arrow, and then The Walking Dead.
Well, we probably will add Game of Thrones once that comes around.
Yes, Game of Thrones. And then I want to add Constantine if you guys are interested in that one, but we can talk about that later, I suppose.
Yeah, I can check that out.
Yeah, it's really good. Just check it out. And then we'll also end with a little bit of a review from Matt about seeing Interstellar, and then possibly talking about some other movie stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Do you guys want to talk about Arrow?
Yeah, I would say that's freshest in our mind since that was last night.
Okay, so this newest episode, and of course this is all going to be spoiler territory, so if no one has seen it yet, please stop listening, even though that hurts me to say that. Go check out the newest episode and come on back, and then carry on. So with this newest episode, we see I will say that it's kind of refreshing to see Oliver Queen, aka the Arrow, kind of take a step back, and he's not the main focus of this episode. Laurel and I think it's Ted. No.
Yeah, I
Ted.
think it is Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, aka the Wildcat, which is another Marvel character.
And then you also have his partner Isaac.
Isaac, yep. And they all play a fairly big role in this episode. It was actually kind of nice to see, Oliver not have to be the Arrow.
Yeah, and it's cool how they tied in Roy's whole thing with the end of the previous episode. Kind of tie it up with him.
Yes, the Mary Crew. So that's one thing I do want to mention is that when Felicity does like her forensic stuff, she says that Sarah was killed by someone of small stature, and it looks like the arrow were thrown into her. Okay, so then as I'm watching, I'm like, holy crap, Roy totally did it.
They tricked you.
But I'm like, wow, he totally did it. He's totally going to that's it. He's going to go off the deep end. This is what makes him go batshit crazy, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the episode, we see that not being the case. Now, what do you guys think about that other archer at the very end?
Cupid?
Cupid. Is that what she's called, actually?
Yeah,
Cupid?
yeah, it's Cupid. She even said it. She's like, I'm Cupid.
Yeah, she's like, I'm Cupid, stepdad, and then...
Yep.
Do you think
I really don't think that I think she's just kind of to throw everyone off a little bit.
Well, I will say that she is wearing red, and that is part of the name of a red herring. Red herring, she's wearing red.
Yeah.
I don't think she necessarily killed Sarah.
I highly doubt it.
But, she is someone of a small stature, and she might have, because of how small she is, she might, have had the ability to, throw off or spook Sarah, and that's why she got killed. It could be. I mean, it could be.
I think it's stretching because, like they said, like Felicity said, it was like it was thrown. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't think it was her still. I think she's got to use a bow still. So I don't know.
I gotcha. And well, I will say that the bow that she used at the very end of the episode, Cupid, looked almost like an old-fashioned kind of bow. So that might maybe affect it, but I don't know.
I highly doubt that.
Again, I could be grasping at straws or arrows at this point.
Yeah, grasping at arrows. I like that.
Grasping at arrows. There you go. But I mean, what would you two think of the episode? I really liked it, but
I liked it. One thing I thought that was awesome, they finally named Roy as Arsenal.
Yeah, they name dropped him. He's like, Maybe that's what I should call you, Arsenal.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That made my day right there. I was like, okay, we're gonna call him Arsenal from now on. So instead of hey, it's the red guy, it's the red arrow, it's the red vigilante, the sidekick at the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's Arsenal now, guys. That's what he is. That was cool.
Yeah. What'd you think about Laurel stepping closer into her Black Canary role, I guess you could say?
Oh, I love it. I think it's really sweet. Like I seen that some of the pictures, of her in costume. Costume looks sick. I cannot wait. She's a little bigger than Sarah, in my opinion, like taller and longer. I think she's gonna kick a lot more ass. Just saying. Eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What'd you think of the episode? Or
I mean, I thought it was great, and what I really liked was that I really liked how they kind of had Roy kind of become his own.
oh, okay.
Like the whole thing with, what's his name, Ted.
Ted and Isaac.
Ted kind of gave him that advice, never to turn his back on Roy.
Yeah.
And
No, he said to let him go.
Or he said to let him go, and Arrow was like, "I'll never turn my back on you," or I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
And something with, I don't know, I just thought of this, but going to the Who Killed Sarah thing, if it is someone in small stature, I know we mentioned this before, but initially we were thinking Slade, and then I know Mike brought up that he said Thea.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did.
And I'm like, now Thea has been training, and she's small stature.
Yeah.
She could potentially have thrown those arrows.
Ooh, well, the thing is that while Thea is small stature, the thing I think that is going to be the determining factor is how the arrows were shot, because Nisa, Sarah's, I guess, lover or ex-lover, knew that it was arrows that killed Sarah. I think she might have said like black tipped or something like that, or black feathered or something.
Yeah, they were black feathered, like the League of Shadows.
Yeah. So I'm definitely guessing that it could be a girl or potentially a small person. I don't know. That might sound a little funny.
But then again, Merlin uses the same stuff.
Yeah, but he's not small, and he uses definitely like a compound.
No, but Thea's with him.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Thea is with him, but Thea couldn't throw the arrows into Sarah.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Well,
we don't know her full potential yet. We haven't really seen a complete her like fighting someone fully yet.
No, that's true.
We've seen little bits and pieces here and there,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, she took boiling coffee on her hands.
Right.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that is pretty cool. But like again, what Felicity said was how the arrows were into Sarah. I think that's going to be a very, very big determining factor. And I would also say that Felicity mentions that while Roy didn't have any Mirakuru in his system, he might have had a Mirakuru episode. So that makes me wonder about the Slade idea again. Is, he doesn't have Mirakuru anymore, but what if he had a bad trip, he was able to burn some, he got his super strength, and then he went looking for someone to go after, and it so happened to be Sarah.
Yeah, basically, I don't think we've mentioned this, but the theory was that like the Mirakuru was creating a connection between Slade and Roy, and perhaps Roy was getting a vision of what Slade was doing. That was our original theory.
Yeah, and that got kind of debunked at the end there when Roy remembers he killed a police officer and then he runs off.
Right. So that does kind of put a close on that.
Yeah, but what Felicity basically said is that we don't know what Mirakuru can still do because we've never had any use of it since Slade and the Siege. So it would be actually very interesting to see if Mirakuru plays another part or plays a small part in this season. Oh, Jesus. So with that, I guess we kind of did a little bit of predicting, but yeah. Is there anything that you guys want to add, maybe about what we could see in next week's episode or in the future?
I
feel
see.
like.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like the next episode's gonna kind of detour away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole Sarah thing.
Okay.
And probably focus more on maybe Laurel actually wearing the suit.
Yeah, because I definitely got a vibe that Laurel was getting ready, kind of a thing, to potentially become Black Canary. I don't know if it would be this next episode or the episode after. I don't think we're going to see Laura at the very end of season 3. We're probably going to see her as Black Canary earlier than that.
I agree.
Yeah. Mike, anything you want to add or?
I was thinking. Let's see. I did have something, but it wasn't really that big of importance. I would like to see us more on the Thea track, but I doubt we're going to hit that until probably a little closer to the end, because I have a feeling that's going to go more towards the end of the season, something with her. Because they showed, the episode before, they had Merlin watching their movie night, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that'll be developed later. Right now, I think they're trying to introduce a lot more villains. Because like now we've seen Isaac and then Cupid saving Isaac.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to start trying to form some of the villains for the rest of the season. That would be my prediction. So we're going to see, Cupid and what Isaac becomes, because I'm sure they're not done with him now.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be that underlying villain, which is the one that probably killed Sarah. That'll probably come, like we were saying, probably towards the end.
Yeah.
And that's why it pushes me kind of towards Thea, because I think they're pushing her off too at this point.
Okay. And I will also add a little tidbit that I'm going to say it now, that we won't get a season-ending Siege style with the League of Shadows. I think we're going to get potentially a little bit more here and there, but I don't think the League of Shadows stuff is going to play out at the end of the season.
No, I think they're just teasing us for now.
Yeah.
I literally think it's just teasing.
Like we might see here and there, Nisa was caught in Sterling City. Arrow goes out or stuff like that that'll lead up into it, but I think it'll be maybe a next season stuff.
That would be interesting. Maybe they're planning a bigger picture even with season 4.
Possibly, or you know what? Actually, come to think of it, I think you guys might have seen it, but they saw I saw a crossover image of the Arrow and the Flash.
Oh, I did see that.
I saw that.
The League might be a crossover event where the Flash helps Arrow.
That'd be sick.
That would be. That would be really cool to see. It's a Flash, Arrow, Diggle, Arsenal, Wildcat, and Black Canary or something like that. All trying to fight off the League or whatever.
I'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see.
The Avengers of the TV show, pretty much.
Yeah. So we're going to move on. So let's go ahead and talk about Flash. And with this newest episode, which aired on Tuesday, after the presidential elections, I believe. Or not presidential, but the stupid crap.
Congress elections.
Crap.
And state.
Yeah. So with this episode, we kind of see our first metahuman not be psycho. That was, again, kind of refreshing, because all the other metahumans so far have either been super psycho and killed themselves, along with trying to do something to get revenge, or the Flash has captured one so far and put him in the pipeline, or the pipe. They kind of keep it like a jail cell. So with this, I gotta say that I think we're getting some pretty good Flash character development, because he told because him and Iris had some pretty interesting conversations about Flash, and then him as Flash talking to Iris as well. You know.
What I think is still really what I thought was really cool about this episode was that they didn't really go into the villain from the previous one.
Captain Cold?
Captain Cold.
Freeze. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign that he's just going to be that underlying, villain who will be throughout the episodes.
Oh no, I got you. Yeah, and again, it was nice to see that. What was her name? Plastique, aka Bensi or something like that.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try and live, and then Doctor. Oh God. I always get mixed up. I can't remember his name.
Harrison.
Dr. Harrison was like, no, you're gonna go kill yourself, and then stop this army guy from going around. I thought that was really interesting to see more of his malicious, personality.
Which we get at the end of every episode.
Yes, at the end of every episode. However, we talked about this last week, which I think is better to be repeating, but there's a fan theory right now that Dr. Harrison is technically, or possibly, the future Flash from 2035 or 2025 or something like that, who went back in time to make sure that his past self doesn't get, hurt or something like that. And the reason why I say that is one piece of dialogue. In this episode, Barry, aka the Flash, keeps calling in and asking, "Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I do that? Can I run up side of a building? Can I run across water?" And one of his colleagues, I forget his name, the dude. But anyway, the tech guy, more or less.
Cisco.
Cisco. There you go, Cisco. Cisco was like, "Oh well, if he's trying to write out a calculation," but Dr. Harris knows it off the top of his head. Now, granted, he's a very smart guy. He might just know, he can do it mentally. But if this was a past life or a past, if he's back in time and he already did this, of course he would know how fast he would have to run.
Yeah, that's true. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it just adds a little bit more, I guess. Granted, it was a quick little dialogue between Cisco and Dr. Harris, but I picked up on it, and I'm like, okay, I could see that being a potential theory that could actually have some credence.
Now, here's something I wanted to say. At the end, we do see probably a new villain. Grodd. Yep.
Yes, I was actually very excited to see Grodd. I hope Grodd, because there was a flashback with Grodd and the General. Oh, not Grodd. Harris and the General, and the flashback was about 5 years ago. So I'm very interested to see where Grodd is now, and I wonder if Grodd will be he'll most likely probably be a future villain, but hopefully we get to see him in potentially a crossover event with the League of Shadows. I call it right now. I'm calling it now. But yes, we saw Grodd, and he was in his monkey form, not in his super intelligence form yet.
I really do hope that we get a few more crossover episodes this season.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, they don't have to overdo it, but it'd still be really nice to see a couple with actually Flash and Arrow together.
Yeah, a little more than you're gonna be better than me, kid.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I totally agree. And one more thing too is that now I'm not familiar with the Flash comic, but does Iris play an important role for Flash in the sense that does she become a hero or because I have a funny feeling that Iris will become something, potentially like a villain or something like that. Do you guys get that same kind of vibe? With how her character's being portrayed or developing in this TV series?
Yeah, see, I'm not sure where. I mean, I've never read any Flash comics in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't really think she's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's just more or less the sort of like
Sort of like.
sort of like Laurel, I guess.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could see that, but I could totally see it. I could see like two possible outcomes. One, she dies, and then that'll make Flash go batshit nuts. Two, either her boyfriend, or her dad dies, and then that makes her go off the deep end, and potentially does something that would be, harmful for Flash or for the city.
I mean, we do see that she likes doing the journalism stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's going to play into something. Like she's going to get captured or something like that because of the journalism.
Yeah, I totally agree as well.
Yeah, my theory with her, she's going to be like the Peter Parker of this, or in other words, also if we're talking Ninja Turtles, what's her name? I just lost it. Lois. No,
I mean April O'Neil.
April. She's going to be April, pretty much like she's the connection between, the media and Flash. I don't think she's going to get any more than that. I don't see her becoming a villain.
Okay.
Maybe just like that friend that kind of like bridges the gap between that.
Okay.
It'll be interesting if like how long they're going to wait before Iris finds out that he's the Flash.
Yes.
Because that'll make a big impact on how like the whole journal thing, her obsessing over seeing the Flash and who he is and all that.
Yes. Which will then bring that into the predicting of the Flash. I really do think that at the end of this first season, that Barry will tell Iris either two things: one, I love you, or I'm the Flash.
I have a feeling both wouldn't work out.
Yeah, just like Felicity and Oliver. Just doesn't work out.
It just, well, I mean, that's at that time. I still think that something will happen with those two in the Arrow, but with Flash, I could totally see that happening. Being, I'm either he will either confess he himself being the Streak, or that he will confess his love to Iris. I don't think that we'll get necessarily a big bad villain like we did in season 2 of Arrow, but now with that being said, Captain Cold might make an appearance again in season 1, but I also think that we might get Dr. Harrison coming out and saying who he really is as well, which I think would be a very interesting thing, because if he claims to be, Barry from the future, that would be really cool to see. Or he could potentially play Dr. Zoom, which I looked into this a little bit more, but he's like an anti-Flash in the sense that he does the exact same thing as a Flash, but does it in like reverse. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's interesting because that would mean he killed his mom. If we can take from that, but it's like, if his whole goal is to, I don't really know what his goal would be then at that point.
Yeah,
like he's trying to keep the Flash safe.
Yeah, because at the end of the episode,
why would he want to kill Flash's mom?
Yeah, exactly. So it again, it'll be very interesting. I think that by the end of episode season 1, we actually might get the Flash becoming the Flash, not the Streak anymore. So, but I'm gonna guess that this next maybe episode or 2 that we're gonna get the same kind of formula. New villain, fight the villain, potentially save them, and or the villain will die. But I also think that we'll start to get more metahumans that won't be psycho or won't go batshit crazy. like Bensi or Plastique. By the way, I don't think Plastique's gone or dead yet. That's just me. But...
You don't think so after blowing up like that?
No, because
True, there was no body.
Yeah. So far, all metahumans besides Multiplex, you see a body. So the Weatherman, he I think didn't he die? I can't remember if he died or not.
Well, there's a good point because I mean, we didn't actually see her explode. Like we didn't see her body. You know, what if like the explosion comes out of her, but it doesn't actually hurt her?
Yeah, and so far that we know as well, all metahumans have an extraordinarily healing factor. So, you know, maybe, well, granted, how she died was kind of dumb. Shot in the chest, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's how she died? Something doesn't seem right with that. So I'm guessing that we might see her potentially play as maybe like not necessarily as a villain, but like a neutral metahuman if she comes back.
Comes out and saves the day in an episode.
Maybe, yeah. That would be pretty cool to see. But Mike or Matt, anything you want to add to Flash or potentially what we might see?
I think we summed it up for now. I mean, there isn't too much going. There's still so much in development that
It's harder to say because the show is so early.
Yeah.
Arrow has 2 previous seasons.
Okay. Cool. So now we're going to go on to The Walking Dead.
Oh, God.
And I know you, Mike, have very strong words with this one. I will say that I only saw my first episode was this newest on Sunday. So I'm kind of in the middle of the season. And from somebody who's picked up at this episode, it seemed like a stretched out episode in the sense that this guy Abraham, his backstory didn't seem that important to me up until the very end of the episode. So,
You need to go back and watch the rest.
Yes, I really do. But Mike, why don't you kind of take on from this here?
Yeah, so I've read the comics, and I kind of knew what was coming with it. That's fine. I wanted it to kind of come out. But what annoyed me is that episode should not have been a full episode on what it was. It just, like you said, it was dragged out. They just... Abraham's story, it is kind of important, but it's not. Like, it's not a full episode worth of importance.
Yeah.
They could have done just a little tidbit of something else, like just even like a little tease more of like what's going on with Carol and just a tease of what's going on with Carol and Beth. Okay. You know, that would have been nice if they did like a half. I feel like the way they're going again is how they were last season, where everyone's separated. Let's give an episode on this person's story, an episode on that person's story. I didn't really like that. Showing me a little bit of everyone here and there, that's kind of nice. You know, I feel satisfied. You know, maybe get a little Daryl, get a little bit of everyone's story. It's nice. Like this one, it was just Eugene and Abraham, and let's get to DC. Yeah, that was the mission. We've known that for a while. You know, they just kept on hitting like all these little roadblocks. It just felt useless. They had that weird sex scene in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, why? That wasn't really that important. You know, Abraham's backstory with his family. Yes, that showed how he kind of ran out of things to live for. He was about to kill himself. But, like I said, he didn't need a full episode of it. You could have just literally showed one flashback, you know, he's with his family. We don't want to be with you. Next flashback, quickly, you know, him about to kill himself, and then get right there with Eugene saying, you know, essentially tricking him that he is a special agent and knows how to cure all this, or the Genome Project or whatever agent or whatever he said he was, and that he can save all of humanity. You know, because, you know, Eugene's just a great liar and everything like that. But I just felt it shouldn't have been a full episode. I feel like they could have done so much more. It was a waste of an episode, a waste of our time, essentially, because it could have been just like quick little shoved into half an episode, or maybe even a quarter. I think
Okay.
you could have got your point across.
Yeah, I mean, Abraham's character isn't really someone you need to know every little tidbit of backstory. He's sort of like that, even in the comics, he's like this really tough guy that just, he's got a little bit of thing going on, but you like to see him just go out and just kill walkers. That's how he is in the comics, at least.
Yep.
I now for you guys who've read the comics, because you've read a little bit into it, right? The comic books and everything.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty far. I'm not as far as Mike, but
okay,
I'm about a book and a half behind.
Okay, that's not bad. But I am at the point, at least in the TV series, of seeing all this like human, more or less drama, like high school drama crap. Like, at the very end of this newest episode, Abraham kind of almost snaps and is like, screw it, we're going to go through the horde. I don't care what the hell you guys say. We're going to get this done. And then, Eugene says, sorry, I lied. I am not the person I said I am. He basically, effectively, gets pummeled to death by Abraham. And my comment on this episode is, I'm sick and tired of seeing all this, like, this frailness of everybody.
I hate to break your bubble, but that's pretty much all it's been after the prison, practically.
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
And that's pretty much all it's going to be. I'm not going to spoil anything ahead, but a lot of it is now about the people and... Alright, here was my spiel before. Like, Season 1, it's like, okay, the world's infested with zombies. How do we stay alive from zombies?
Yeah.
Season 2, that was total character development.
Okay.
Kind of just added nonsense. Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Season 3, it was like, okay, we've controlled the walkers. We need to establish and become, like, a civilized state kind of thing. Like, let's bring society back. Yep. So it was about society. And then the 4th season was, like, regrouping from a fallen like government or society kind of a thing.
Okay.
And then now I think they're trying to get back in that rebuild phase. So yeah, you're gonna get that drama. The drama it's never about the walkers anymore. That's been gone. They're just there. They're the background noise, the white noise, everything. They're just there. They're just an obstacle that is now part of their life. So now you're getting their life as the new world life.
Yeah.
So
and I get that. Like every season kind of has a theme about it. But what made season 3 so good? Because season 3, that was the prison, right?
Yes.
I think what made season 3 so good, in my opinion, one of the best out of everything that we've seen so far, is that when you see the governor, he is shown as somebody who doesn't take shit. He knows exactly what to do, and he's established himself as being a capable leader. Now, granted, he's got his own demons, and for the most part, that was kind of in check. And then, eventually Daryl and Rick and all the people from the prison figure it out. They kind of stop him from being a nutcase. But after that, I kind of trail off in season 4, and then I just picked up this newest episode of season 5. I am not seeing anything that makes me want to, get back into it. Now, I know that season 5 starts off really strong, with the train and everything like that. But it's like I mentioned before. I want to see. I kind of want to see like almost like a John Connor, in a sense. Somebody who eventually takes the reins, figures stuff out, and just kind of just points forward and fixes stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, with the, like, alright, so, like, season 3, I mean, the governor was that part, and not only that, but, you didn't really like him.
Well, yeah,
like,
there was something about him.
In a good way.
Yeah.
You didn't like him, and it was like, you wanted to see them beat him.
Yeah.
And, like, with season 4, it just kind of, like, I believe it was the second half of season 4. Because the first half was the governor coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And I liked how they did it. It was pretty good comparison to the comics. But then the second half was just a complete, just trail off.
Yep.
And they'd had a really good start to season 5 so far. But I will agree that this episode was kind of going back into season 4 second half range again. And we don't really need that on a TV. Like, we don't really need that much for a 40-minute episode.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you guys. I know, Mike, you mentioned this when we were talking about this earlier, but do you think they're going to be going more towards comic book based material, or do you think they're going to still stay hardcore separate from the comics? They'll take some aspects, put them in their in the TV series, but stay away from the comic books. Other than that.
Well, they are totally going the path of the comic books. Like I said, this last episode was pretty much almost word for word from the comics.
Oh, wow, okay.
The scenery was a little different, like the fire truck and that wasn't in the comics, but everything else was like word for word, like their dialogue and everything. And then, you went to the cannibal camp and everything like that. They had the church, everything like that.
The church was exactly...
Yes, exactly, practically.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so yes, they have done that. The only thing that really separates it from it, and that's why I think they should show a little bit of both, because there is a lot of comic book readers that watch the show now and vice versa, So, and at first I wanted it to go to the comics. I was mad that they're veering off, but now I kind of like that little bit of variation. It is cool that to keep some aspects, because some of it is really powerful as it is. Like, the governor, I wish they showed a little more, like... I'll just talk about this pet peeve I had. I've talked to you guys about it many times, that Michonne thing in the beginning of like season 3, how much she hated the governor. And if you just watch the show, there wasn't really any big reasons why she should hate him so much. He was actually really nice to her. But in the comics, he tortured her. He had his way with her and beat the crap out of her. So of course she had that kind of vendetta, and they were trying to portray that, but they couldn't do it because it was like AMC and the way they did it. So I feel they are going to go back more to the comics. I mean, they've gotten away with a lot more, like the pig sty or pig trough thing. That was crazy. They got away with that.
That was an insane start to the season.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And then Rick threatening him, I'm going to kill you with that machete. And then he does. That just made my day. But they will. That's why I wanted more of like Daryl, or just a little bit of Daryl, or a little bit of teasing on like what Beth and Carol are going through, or something like that in this last episode, because then it helps hook the comic book readers more, and just kind of like pulls everyone in altogether, I think. So, but yes, I think they're going to follow the comic book more or less, but that little added stuff is like bonus, and we love it. It's like extended, here's DLC.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't be appropriate to, I guess, predict, but I think that what we might see in this, at least in this season, or the ending of this half a season, because they're ending it in the halfway mark again, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like 3 more till like the halfway mark, or 2 or something like that right now.
Yeah. Well, let's hear your opinion from a non-comic book person.
Well, part of the problem is I haven't seen the other 4 episodes, but from what I got, I think that we potentially might get out of Georgia in this season, which would actually be nice to see for once, because I'm sick and tired of being in Georgia. From what I understand, I guess the comic book takes place a lot, I guess, in Georgia, or at least a significant part of it does. It would be nice to see to get out of Georgia, and what we might also see too is potentially some characters that might die that we've grown to love. I'm kind of looking at Glenn here. Glenn's been around for a while, and I wonder if he's going to bite the bullet.
I won't comment on that because, I just don't want to comment on that right now.
Okay.
Because of what I know from the comics.
I got
but there are going to be some whole new things and kind of new scenery. They find new scenery, I would say. different interactions with different things and people, and yes, the group does change quite a bit. We'll just say it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to ruin the surprise for anyone because it gets good. That's all I gotta say. Like, I was like, there's a couple books I was reading. I was like, yeah, this is it's pretty good, but and then out of nowhere, it was like way better than when you met the governor, kind of a thing, in my opinion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so just be patient. Good stuff is coming, and then we don't know where the DLC is going, as I call it.
Cool. Matt or Mike, do you have anything else to add about Walking Dead or?
Not without giving away too much from the comics.
Okay. Well, I think we should then move on to some movie talk.
Yeah, sure.
So, Matt, you were able to see Interstellar. Do you want to give maybe like an impression or maybe like
Yeah,
a
definitely.
quick little tidbit about it?
I will just say it's a really good movie,
Okay.
especially if you like. First off, you got to be someone who can handle going to a almost 3 hour movie.
All right.
But I will say that it keeps your attention the whole time pretty well.
Oh, excuse me.
And if you like science at all, go see it.
All right. So,
It is really they show some amazing things from space that it's never really been shown before,
okay.
and it's really cool, especially in IMAX. You have to see it in IMAX.
Okay.
Sound, I would give a sound 10 out of 10.
So if you're basically talking to somebody who wants to go see it, but is kind of on the fence, would you recommend this movie wholeheartedly? Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
Acting was great. Everything was great about it. The visuals.
Okay.
It's got a bit of a father-daughter thing going on,
Yeah.
and it's got that side of the story as well. If you like that.
Okay. Cool. Did they play any off the top of sidetrack? Did they play any special trailers before the movie, like Batman?
They didn't really show too much. The first like 4 trailers were kind of lame,
Okay.
but I did see Avengers.
Oh,
The extended one?
was it the
They
extended one?
they showed the extended one.
Oh,
Nice.
now I haven't had the chance to see that. How was it? The extended trailer.
It's really cool. Like they just have. It's basically. I mean, Marvel's been doing the same trailer now since it came out, and they've just been slowly adding more scenes. So
Okay.
that's pretty much all it is. It's like some more added scenes.
Or is it no? Is it worth
It's definitely worth checking out.
we're checking out the extended one? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's got like a cool scene. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I mean, it is. It's just a trailer, so why not? They have like it's like a quick scene. You see Iron Man like come down and he's like shooting at people,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of hard to tell whether if he was being controlled or if he was shooting at bad guys. It was real quick, but it was pretty cool. And then I think there was just a little bit more of the Ultron part
Oh, okay.
in the beginning,
Okay.
and then you actually see robots fly out of the walls, and that was really cool.
Wow.
So definitely check that out.
Wow. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that because I totally didn't do my homework and not see it before the show. So I was like, poop. So, but in the previous recording, we talked about some of the Marvel movies, and the biggest takeaway that I kind of want to just re-emphasize is Marvel has basically changed the way that superhero movies are portrayed, in the sense that you will never, I think, get an origin story origin story superhero movie anymore, like we got with Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and with that in mind, apparently Batman vs Superman, they're going to have another interpretation of Bruce Wayne becoming a foster child, or him losing his parents. So my question for you guys is, do you think that's a good thing? Basically getting rid of origin stories of movies, and it's kind of throwing them into like a main movie, or possibly as like flashbacks or something like that.
I think it's good for certain characters. Like, especially with like someone like Batman, if they're going to remake Batman, they don't really need the origin story. I feel like we've definitely gotten that enough.
Yeah, how many times has it been?
Everybody gets that Batman, orphaned as a child, raised in his mansion with his butler.
Yeah.
You get that. It's like same thing with Spider-Man. We don't need any more Spider-Man origin stories. We know he got bit by a spider. But it's characters that maybe aren't as known to people, like the common person who doesn't maybe read comics all the time, or watch shows based on superheroes. Maybe someone like Doctor Strange. It'd be nice to have, you don't need the whole thing as an origin story, but just, the beginning. Kind of like how Guardians did it.
Yes.
They did a really good job at kind of giving each character, oh, this happened to this person. I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I do agree that, to kind of go backwards from how you explained, I do agree that Doctor Strange might be an exception, is that we might actually get almost an Origins-like story, how he became the Sorcerer Supreme and whatever the case may be. But, like, I don't think we're ever going to get the hardcore origin stories of, like, Batman or Spider-Man. Because those are, or I guess you could say, those are the two most iconic origin stories in both comics and in movies. So, for example, what they're doing in Batman vs Superman, I think that's what we're going to see now in all Batman movies, is a flashback, more or less. Kind of like how we saw, I guess you can say how we saw in the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, is that origins story of him becoming Batman he was already Batman when in that movie. He's been the Bat, and he's been an urban legend for maybe a couple of years. And I think we're going to get that formula more and more now.
I think I think it's good to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. So,
and it keeps the people guessing, like, too, like, it makes you think about it, like, because Arrow's the same way, just slowly add the flashbacks and builds on. I think it's way more effective than that slow build up and then, becomes whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. And at least with Arrow, slight sidetrack. Oliver Queen, does he ever become a League of Shadows member?
I don't think so.
Because I know he knows what the League of Shadows is, and I think he might have been not necessarily taught, but he might have had some dealings with it on the island with Shadow. Because wasn't she part of the League of Shadows, or knew something about it?
I don't know. I don't think they were League of Shadows. I think there was some other group, but
okay.
I really don't know, so I can't really answer it, but I don't think they were League of Shadows. I mean, they weren't the same thing. I mean, if they're League, come on, would League have left them on that island? I don't think so.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Kind of a thing.
But I
think, if anything, they were, like, possibly exiled League assassins,
Yeah.
If anything.
It'll be interesting to see, once we get closer to to why Oliver went back to the island. if he actually had any run-ins with the league, because he knew exactly what the league was.
Oh, I guarantee you he had run-ins. I bet you he has because like we're just now in with that Hong Kong area and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely run into them. They're getting to that, but I don't think they're going to be like enemies at the time, because they didn't wage war until recent, so kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And then we know he definitely didn't meet Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Ra's al Ghul is more of a Batman kind of a thing, Bruce Wayne. Which I wonder if they're going to use Ra's al Ghul as like a bridge, potentially using him as like maybe setting up like a Batman TV series or universe. Because I would, even though Gotham, because we haven't talked about Gotham, and I don't think we will, but even though Gotham is cool, looking at the detective stuff with Commissioner or Detective Gordon, I want to see Batman. I want to see a Bruce Wayne, and I would actually be okay with taking basically doing the same formula as Arrow, but just substituting that with Batman stuff. I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there's something in the works, but
we really haven't had a Batman like live show, and I don't really count Gotham.
No, I don't either.
No.
But think about how long it's been. We've had plenty of cartoons and animated Batmans, but not an actual Arrow, Flash type Batman.
Yeah, the last live TV show was the '60s one with Adam West. So I think we're about time to see some live action Batman for.
Granted, we do have the movies, a lot of them.
Yeah, but Warner Brothers has said multiple times that they are keeping the universe separate. So even what we get for a TV series would be like an older Batman, already established, almost what they're doing with Batman vs Superman. I would even take that.
That would be nice because if you think about it, all the animated Batmans, they don't really have an origin episode. They just kind of go straight into it.
Yeah, there was only one TV series, I think it was called Batman Year One, where he was actually the Batman.
And that's actually a animated movie.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a TV series where he recently was the Batman, or he recently started being the Batman, which was really cool to see. But yeah, I want to say I think we're done, gentlemen. Unless you guys want to add anything about Walking Dead, Flash, Arrow, or movie stuff.
I think I said everything I have. I have to watch some more shows and movies to have any more.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes this coming week with all the episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully Walking Dead picks it up.
Yeah, I actually will be watching this newest one too. So
I hope so.
So, I want to thank everybody who has listened. I want to thank you two gentlemen for participating in our first NCP Predicts. And Mike, I know you wanted to mention this towards the end as well, but I'll let you do the honors.
Okay. On Facebook, we got an announcement just earlier this week. We hit 100 likes, so keep on liking us, guys. We thank each and every one of you that has been supporting us. Thanks again. Let's just make this a bigger, better thing. So just keep on liking.
Oh, do you have something to say, Matt?
No.
Oh.
I was just saying, all right.
Yay! Oh, I thought you said but all right, yeah.
Yay!
So as Mike said, you can find us on Facebook at Nerd Central Cosplay. You can find us on Twitter at Nerd C Cosplay or Nerd. Just look up Nerd Central Cosplay. You'll find us that way. Have an Instagram, same thing. We will be having a website up hopefully soon in the near future.
Yeah, we don't have a date yet, but
yeah,
it's in the works for sure.
I'm guessing right around Christmas or right around the beginning of the New Year, I think, if I'm correct.
I'd probably say New New Year to be on the safe side.
New Year, okay. So, and then, of course, we have our YouTube channel. And like before, if you guys like what you hear, comment. Let us know how we're doing. You can't make anything better without without knowing what we're doing wrong or what we're doing right. So comment, leave a message, or even message us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever the case may be. So,
yeah.
My name is Stazz, and I had Mike and Matt with us, and I'll bid you all a good day.
Good day, good night, good evening, good...